Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to paint this snowman. I got a piece of pine board and I took some gesso and I'm going to paint the whole board with the gesso on the sides and on the top. Gesso is really good for coverage. You might need a couple coats depending on the project, but it's pretty good coverage. And it's a good primer. So I'm just covering the whole board with the gesso. So once I got the board completely covered, I used a blow dryer to speed up the process. And I had cut the top for the part of the hat. I cut that out of a piece of plywood. So I'm kind of getting an idea here of how it's going to be placed. So then I got some white chalk paint, and it's the paint that I made by taking plaster of Paris and acrylic paint, mixing it together. And so it's a little gritty and it didn't cover so great. So you see me put the whole, I put the whole coat on, but I ended up also putting another coat on. So then I took a blow dryer and I sped it up. And I laid the hat top thing on and I made a mark to kind of divide the face from where the hat's going to be. So I took a pencil and I made that mark and I took it back off so I could paint it. So for this part, I'm using a barn red acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is what I have the most of. Chalk paint is better, but I have so much acrylic paint, I'm going to use what I've got. So I'm covering the top part, which is supposed to be the hat, and you'll see me cover it on the front and then on the sides. So after I got all that, then I took the hat piece and I painted it also in barn red. And then I set that aside so it can dry. So after I blow dried it, right here I'm touching up because, like I said, I was so impatient with the drying process that I kind of messed it up a little bit, but that's the beauty of paint. Just cover it over. And so I took that chalk paint and I'm covering with it another coat. So after I got the 2 coats of gesso, 1 coat of the chalk paint, then I wasn't done. I ended up taking this, I'm not even sure what color it is. It's sort of in the brown color, but it was like an off-white. It's a little darker than I wanted, but it'll work. So I'm putting the final coat of that all over. So I got it fully covered and I used the blow dryer again to speed it up a little bit. So then I take a pink pinkish. I wanted mauve, but I don't think I had any mauve. So I took a sponge dabber and just started dabbing in a circular motion for the cheeks. And you'll see me, I made them a little larger than, and I'm sorry about the camera. It wasn't positioned right. I apologize for that, but I hope you can see it good. So I'm just making them a little larger with that dabber. So once I blow dried that, I got out my paint pen. I got a black paint pen, and this is where I started making the eyes. And since this is a little bit larger than the last snowman, I made the eyes larger. And just filled that in with black. So I'm just filling that in and making some eyebrows. And then I just kind of drew out the nose for an outline. And now I'm doing the mouth. And if y'all want me to draw that out for you and leave it in the description, let me know, and I don't care to do that. You know, some people can draw and some can. I mean, I've been doing it for years and years, so. Now, after I got that, I took a regular paintbrush and just kind of went over it to make it darker. And now I'm taking the orange paint and painting the nose. Just painting inside the nose. Y'all, I've got some big projects going on, and just to get a video out there, I thought I'd do something a little quicker than what I'm doing right now, because I've got a big snowman I'm working on, and it takes time when you get into those big projects. So I thought I would throw this together, and I hope y'all like it. So now is when I took the top part of the hat and put it on. I actually took it into the kitchen and I nailed it. I used a brad nailer with a nail gun. I used a nail gun. Sorry. And so now I'm just outlining the nose, putting little marks to make it look more like a carrot. And just kind of finishing it up. So once I got that together, I took my paintbrush and I'm trying to make it look like snow. But if y'all saw my paintbrushes, how I've got them now, I have to dig through and try to find different sizes. I've got to figure out a better way for my paintbrushes. But I'm just making marks to make it look like snow, but I'll eventually change this. So you'll see what I do after this. So now I got out my water and my toothbrush, and I dip the toothbrush in water, then I touch the paint with it, and then I dab it on the paper towel or napkin, whatever you got. I just used the mat that I had. And then I just took my finger and splattered it. And I did that with the white, and then I did it with the black. I like the splattered look. You'll see me do that in a lot of my crafts. So then I got out my brown paint and some water, and I just kind of dipped my brush in the water and the paint, and then on the pad. And I'm just making a little bit of an outline, like a shading maybe around the face with the brown paint. Just gives a little outline. So now I flipped it around. I got smart and flipped it around to see, for y'all to be able to see it. And after I got the shading done, so I got the splatters on the shading done, I ended up fixing the hat. So I was wanting to use my silicone, but I didn't know where it was. I don't know what I did with it. So I got out the all-purpose, it's like a spackle. So I'm going to use that. And now I'm just making some eyeballs, and I didn't like it at first, and I fixed it, and then I turned around and did it again. So I just took the white and made some little eyeballs in there. And now I'm taking the spackle. Now, it doesn't look that white, but once it dries, it turns more white, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just putting that on, and I like to put it on using this tool because if you dab it, it raises like little peaks, you know. So I'm just putting that on the hat to make it look more like snowish. You can just do this anywhere on the hat, just kind of around like I did here. Once I get all that on, I'm pretty much done. And I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.